Hey guys, I'm doing my passion project on vampirism, so I hope you like it. If you see me look down, it's because I have my notes on my laptop. Okay, let's get started with the types of vampires that you can have in the community of vampirism. The first one, it's a psi or psychic vampire. This type of vampire relies on energy around the universe and of people, auras. And when they're in a big group of people, they can have a sensory overload because of all the auras in there. So that's the bad thing about it. And the good thing that they can do is that they can secretly take the energy, so you don't even know they're a vampire sometimes. Okay, and the next one is called a blood drinker, or sanguine, I think it's pronounced. You can tell by the name that they're blood drinkers, and they don't die if they don't drink blood, unlike the movies. And they feel the blood helps them in healing or in some other way, and they need a donor willingly, or then they can be in trouble and call themselves a rogue, which is someone who takes blood unwillingly from unwilling donors. The next one is a succubus or incubus. These prey on sexual energies, of course, and they're like the psychic vampire, but instead of just all the energies, they only prey on the sexual energies. And succubus is female and incubus is male. Hybrid is two or all vampire types together. And then there's the cosplay vampire, which is the most common in all of it. It's where people who just like to dress up as vampires but don't like do anything, but if they do act like a vampire and they do cosplay as a vampire, then that would be a hybrid. Get it? What am I? I'm a hybrid, believe it or not. Actually, I'm a blood drinker, a succubus, and a cosplay, so I'm a hybrid. So, yeah. Terms you need to know in the community. Psi is psychic but shortened. Sanguine is blood drinker, called by term. Succubus is female. Incubus is male. Donor is someone who gives blood. Rogue is someone who takes blood without permission. Slayer is someone who hurts vampires. Vamping out is when hunger gets too bad for sanguinarians. Awakening. Now, someone has requested this on my channel, so sorry if you hear that in the background. My laptop's dying. you go through major changes in your your physical and mental self, and sometimes you're going to have headaches, either a lot of feeling or barely any feeling, physically or mentally. You discover yourself through your awakening and could change everything of you. You will be hungry and always hungry no matter how full you are, and if you are a Sagittarian. You will be hypersensitive to light and will always be tired and you will be a night owl. So my awakenings so far, I actually get a lot of headaches now, more than normal. And like, it's hard to explain to people, but I've changed, certainly. I do a lot of headaches and do crave blood. I'm just afraid that I'll be vamping out, and I've become stronger than normal, and I figured out that I love to type and write and also love to talk. And I didn't used to like to talk at all. And I'll talk in a huge group now. I've been seeing the that I'm childish and irresponsible. Yes. I'm less shy now and I feel great. How I deal with vampirism. I keep my vampirism a secret because everyone thinks of movie vampires. And movie vampires are not real, okay? They are not real. There is some people who think, oh, vampires are like the movie vampires. No, not really. There's a lot of things that are very different from the movie vampires. One example is how they eat. Regular vampires cut a donor to get blood from them, and movie vampires bite their necks to get blood. See, biting someone's neck isn't possible. To put these into someone's neck, it's not very possible. The next thing is, how do you know you're awakened? How could you possibly know? If anything, how could you? Here is some questions you can ask yourself. Disclaimer: not everyone is a vampire in vampirism. Here is some questions to ask yourself and see if you should consider vampirism. 1. Do you crave something like blood? 2. Do you have a new attitude to people? 3. You found a new fondness to raw foods. 4. Feeling reckless at night and sleepy in the day. 5. Are you hypersensitive to light suddenly? Like all of a sudden? I'll put the website down in the description below if you have any more questions. Okay, now we're on to my experience with vampirism. My experience is rough because I'm going through a lot of change and I can tell I'm changing with my attitude, and I'm finding myself finally and breaking out of my shy self a little bit, and that's great because I feel like I'm a party animal sometimes, but that's fine. It is hard to tell loved ones that you're in this huge community of vampires and they can't understand because they don't know anything about it except you. Oh yeah, everyone thinks of the movie vampires and they just think, "Ooh, you're crazy! Woo!" But you're not really crazy, trust me. If you are a vampire. I've been trying to tell people, but I'm afraid of people not accepting me. And people view vampires as a negative thing when really they're not negative unless you make it negative, like a rogue. People think that vampires are always blood drinkers when they really aren't, because there's so many types of different vampires that you just got them all. And vampirism is a little bit of a secret thing. Like, you're gonna have to go digging for websites, and that's kind of hard because you don't know if the website's real or fake until you got the wrong information. What about after your awakening? So, the first part comes into play now. So if you're a psychic, you have all like new senses, like you can feel everything. Or like a blood drinker, they get hungry and vamping out is when they don't get blood and they just are so thirsty for blood that they need something, and that's where some people become a rogue because they're craving it so much that they just get anyone and drink their blood, when really you can't really do that well because there's AIDS and other types of things like that. But I think the hardest thing you could possibly do is be a hybrid, because that means you're not in one category, you're in 2 or 3 or 4 or all. And that makes it so much difficult than being in a regular category where you can fit in with a lot of people. No, you gotta fit in with people who are also hybrids that are also in your category. But in the community, it's really nice and people accept each other because it's just so nice, and I think it's so nice and I love it. And it's just a great little thing to have. But if anyone is wondering, oh, can you have a religion and still be into vampirism? Yes, you can have any religion you want and you'll still be in the community if you still consider yourself a vampire. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Bye, guys.